Hello, everybody. Today is Thursday, May 18th, 2023, and we are here to discuss, well, really the final of the Challenge World Championship. The first ever Challenge World Champion has been crowned, so we'll be focusing mostly on the final, but we do want to dip into episode 11 a little bit because we haven't gotten to talk about that one yet. So I'm excited. We have a very special guest with us tonight, so let's just kick this sucker off, right? Let's do it. Oh yeah. Sorry, Billy. If you noticed, I was there. Me and Kyle usually rock out.
No, I love it. I loved it. I saw I was in incognito mode. I was like, oh, this is great.
We have fun. So firstly, I promised my sister Mary Kate that I would shout this out. Does anybody watch the show Yellow Jackets?
Yeah.
I don't.
Such a great show. Season
half
2
hour into the first episode
of season 1.
Yeah, I decided that the night that I tried this, I was too high. Like when you're starting to watch, I'm like, I'm gonna like this, and I'm too high for this tonight. I have to proper attention.
I hear you. But the reason that I'm bringing it up is because at the beginning of season 2, there is a scene where a couple of characters from the show are watching TV, and when they cut to the television, what are they watching? But one of the most classic and iconic moments in the challenge history, the banana backpack.
No way!
100%.
It's just playing on the TV screen in like the background pretty much of this scene of the Yellow Jackets. So like me and Mary Kate were watching that and I like freaked out. She's like, you got to talk about it on your pod. And I was like, all right, now it's going to happen. So
that's really cool. That's actually really cool. That actually makes me more interested in Yellow Jackets. I also need to message Mary Kate. I feel like she dropped the ball on something from Monday, but we'll talk to her.
I think that she is just as uninterested in letting videos of us Irish step dancing get out.
Well, that is so interesting because me and Kyle are both incredibly interested. So
right.
Yeah, I would have
Billy. Yeah, it came to light that John, along with his sister Mary Kate, apparently did some Irish step dancing. And so I messaged Mary Kate right away. And I said, what is going on with this? How can we unearth some footage of this?
It's very important.
It's extremely important. So
the people need it.
The people do need it. The streets are hungry. So as you go on, John, let me just follow up with Miss Mary Kate. Let's see what's going on. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So before we really break down the final, let's talk about kind of what happened with episode 11. The last time that we were speaking about the challenge, we were finishing up on episode 10. So let's get into episode 11. This saw finally what we have been kind of like watching all season, this internal battle, between Australia, right? It felt like right off the bat, Grant and Emily were gunning for Kiki and Troy. They're supposed to be Team Australia. Wasn't happening. There was constantly this internal battle going on between them. And it was finally in episode 11 where we got to see Troy and Casey take out Emily and Yes to sort of, set the final teams for us, the final pairs. But we got like a little bit of a twist in this elimination, if you remember. So obviously, I want to get more into the Jordan deal because I just don't really understand why this like even needed to happen, this whole Jordan thing. But let's start with that. Actually, let's start with that. So Jordan makes this deal with Emily and Yes. I don't understand what the purpose of this deal was. Am I stupid? Can somebody I get the premise of like Emily and
they had stinky ass deal with something about we ain't gonna win, but we didn't say you were gonna win. Like that whole weird thing.
And it just felt very sloppy to me on Jordan's part because it was like Jordan and Tori basically like forced Sarah to agree to put Emily and Yes into elimination. A week after they had their little huddle. But now you see Jordan is making a deal with Emily and Yes without Tori knowing. He's going to them saying, if you don't say our names, then we won't win the next competition. But what was weird about this to me is that So Jordan is making this deal with Emily and Yes without telling Tori, but it felt totally unnecessary to me because this deal was essentially to save them from potentially going to elimination, where Jordan was like, well, he had a whole argument with Kaz about this. Like, we should just go into elimination. I want to try to keep Tori from making a bad decision because Tori and Danny wanted to go in. I need a season without Tori and Jordan so badly.
Don't even get me started this early on that. We're gonna save that for later. So don't
I
even
am
get
ready.
me started. I'll cannibalize your show with the get Tori off the show for a season vote. But no, you're right. Listen, if I'm Jordan, I'd make all the deals I want too, because if Yes and them want to be dumb enough to believe that they're going to hold up a deal, then fine. Doesn't really hurt him any to make any deals. If he breaks it or if they don't go through with it, then whatever. So I mean, yeah, and it is last week, but we're just like trying to establish that. It's like, hey, like, I'd make all the deals I want, but the people who should be upset are the people that actually freaking take the things and take it seriously. Like, they're the ones that need to be mad. Don't be mad at him for making the deals. I'll make a deal every week with somebody. I don't care.
Right. I just felt like it was a sort of an unnecessary and like sort of sloppy deal to me, because it was like, you're making this deal with Emily and Yes, but then in the competition that it actually affects, you're pulling Emily and Yes's thing anyway, because the whole thing from Jordan was, well, you said you wouldn't say our names and we said that we wouldn't win, but that doesn't mean we can't beat you.
Right. I'm surprised that you're actually speaking negatively about Jordan's move here. I actually think that it was pretty good. Anything, it speaks to the stupidity and what is it, naivete of who is it now? I already forgot. Yes, and Emily. Because like it just shows. So Emily went on that whole tirade about like, I want to make sure that people know that I can play the political game. I can play the social game. Well, girl, you got it wrong. Right. You got it wrong. And Yes, you know, you're not really new to this. Right. But see, Yes is too old school for this kind of gameplay. Right. Like, Yes is about honor. You know, we do everything correct. Like, we made a deal and that is what we're doing. And yes. No pun intended, except we're laying into it. But like, this whole situation would not have happened with somebody who was more modern in the challenge, or even in some of the other shows that we play. Like, you try having this conversation with Sarah. She was like, girl, bye. Like, she would not have entertained like none of this, because this was not a real deal. This was never a deal. How do you make a deal with somebody to just say, I won't win?
Right.
Odds are you won't. There's more people. There's more losers in a competition than winners. Like,
but this is why I felt like it opened up Jordan to things that were unnecessary. I don't think that he ever needed to make this deal, is what I'm saying. It didn't hurt him in the end, obviously, but I don't think he ever needed to make it, because in that whole, when he was making the deal with Emily and Yes, they had won that daily challenge, so they were in the position of power. Jordan made this deal with them so that they wouldn't say his name, his and Kaz's name. Right. But it felt like Emily and Yes were going to choose Troy and Casey to go in anyway. I felt like they're not going to say Jordan and Kaz's name. They had all stalemated to put all of the power into Emily and Yes's. And then when this next competition comes, they pull Emily and Yes's tag. So while, yes, technically Jordan and Kaz followed through on that deal, now Emily and Yes are pissed, because that's what they said. They thought that this deal was they're going to be able to get as far in this competition as they can, because Jordan and Kaz won't be gunning for them. But what it also did now is that Jordan and Kaz are sitting there hanging on these rope ladders, and now they're not doing anything. They're actually helping another team, Theo.
Right.
Win.
It got. Wait, hold on. But don't judge them for making that decision then, because they weren't in that situation yet. So like, that's not fair. That's not fair. Don't use that as a reason why this was a no good deal.
If I'm Jordan,
because, we didn't know yet.
If I'm Jordan, I'll try to make a deal, because Jordan got protected most of the season. So if I'm Jordan, I want to kind of finish off the game. And so if I got to make a bunch of deals, and listen, all they do on this season anyway is stalemate each other a bunch of times, right? You might as well get somebody to say they won't do it. And you bring up a really great point, and you bring the word honor up. We did an episode a few weeks back, and we literally entitled it, "Does honor matter in the challenge?" And the answer is no, it doesn't. These guys talk about honor and keep the back. This show became more about people not wanting to win. They just don't want to get eliminated early. They just want to hang around for a while and hang out with their buddies. So like they start talking about things like honor and having to go through the ropes and put the rookies through and all this crap. Like, just say like, I don't want to be in the elimination. I want to be in the house longer. It's a nice vacation in Panama. Like, let's just call them.
Let's call it spade a spade.
Yeah. I hear you. And like, listen, make as many deals as you can to protect yourself. This just all felt very sloppy to me, especially when it came on the heels of like Kaz telling Jordan, like, I don't want to go to elimination. And Jordan being like, well, if you don't want to go to elimination, why do you expect me to continue to fight for us to win? And it's like, well, then you just made a deal with Emily, who Tori's working against.
Right. A lot of the conversations between Jordan and Kaz were like really cracked, in my opinion. Like I didn't really like know what was going on.
Yeah, they do a lot of talking in circles.
Right. Anytime Kaz brought what I thought was like a valid concern, he was just like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this is the challenge. And it's like, well, yeah, it is a challenge. And that's why she's saying she's concerned. Like, no, she gets it. Like, she won.
Right.
Like, let's not act like she's not really new, right? She's new to you. But like, she just decimated everyone in the United Kingdom. Okay. So she's like, you know, she's not a rookie, really. Okay.
God save the king.
Yeah, really. Put some respect on Kaz's name. All right, let's go.
We will. We get to the final for sure.
Yeah. I love Kaz. All right. But anyway, so we had this competition. Casey and Troy were sabotaged by Emily and Yes. So they're going straight to elimination. Now we go back to the house. We actually had... This is so stupid, but it made me laugh, and I watched it like multiple times. How awkward is Yes? By the way, can we just for a minute humor me and watch this scene of Yes walking up to Troy, being like, "Sorry, man."
Yes.
Sorry, I pulled your flag, man. I mean, it's stupid. It's annoying. It's like you earned your way to the damn ladder, so did we. It's like. Not just a part of the game now, or it's just fucking no fun.
So why are you sorry now?
What?
We earned our way to the ladder. Great job, bud. Swam over.
Right. But honestly, doesn't this bring it really full circle? Like, this is what I mean. This is like, what is this? Yes. Like, you think you know what you're doing. You think you know you're playing like such a smooth game. And I look at me. And it's like, yikes. Everything you do is like uncomfortable because he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He needs to go back to All Stars, like, you know, where everybody plays old school.
That's where he belongs at this point.
Stop trying to mainstream Yes. All right. Crowd says no.
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 Like the emoji.
But I had to just throw that scene in there because it was just so awkward, and it really made me happy. So, but whatever. Okay. We're already spending more time on episode 11 than I anticipated. But let's just jump right to deliberation. We had once again another stalemate. Every team voting for themselves, which meant that Casey and Troy's partner was still a mystery here. So we get to the arena, not the zone. Jeez, what season was that? The zone?
Oh God,
the arena.
I don't even know.
Season I reject.
Yeah. So we get to the arena, and we find out that the stalemate twist is getting even more twisted. Because guess what? By winning the last daily challenge, Sarah and Theo aren't even really a part of this game anymore. They've already punched their ticket to the final. So they're not deciding who Casey and Troy are going to go against. We get what I was hoping for earlier in the season. The loser gets to pick their opponent. And of course, they pick Emily and Yes. So, Emily and Yes. So, it's actually, there we go. Thank you, Billy. The zone was ride or dies. And that was literally just last season.
The never-ending season.
Yes.
God.
But of course, this was a classic hall brawl. I was really excited for this just to see Emily and Casey go up against one another.
Oh yeah.
I knew that Troy would kind of, just take it to Yes and win that point. But Emily and Casey was a really great matchup, I thought. What did you guys think of this hall brawl? I would love to see them do this again too.
I mean, love Hall Brawl. Shout out to Brett, one of our co-hosts on the Reality Guys, big Hall Brawl fan. And Brett. I just like seeing that. And it's a great one to punctuate a season, especially. You're right there at the precipice, and knowing that you have to literally run through your opponent to get to the final, I think is a little poetic, right? But I think it's cool. And I don't know if I was surprised by the result, but it didn't go exactly how I thought. It was a lot more, again, of the strategic holding on and getting up to your feet first. We haven't seen, I think, recently a lot of someone just running someone over pancaking them and running off. It is a lot more of like who can hold the person at the right angle to take off, and they're always really close. I mean, it's really close.
Definitely. You know who I'm dying to see face off in a hall brawl now too? Keep Danny McRae coming back. I want to see Danny McRae and Fessy go at it.
Oh God!
Just because of their Twitter beef.
Well, the Twitter beef, but also the fact, there's a lot of talk about how Fessel was a, D1 football player and he's this great athlete. And Danny McRae, it was an NFL player. So they're both football players.
That would be a wild one.
I would love to see Danny and Fessy face off in a hall brawl. So, yeah.
I don't know how Kiki would feel about that.
Oh, Kiki.
I don't care what Kiki thinks about
Kiki
it.
count 1. Ding. We can get today.
Do you know during the Challenge USA we had a whole separate whole separate segment that was just Kiki shout out.
We love a Kiki shout out.
We talk about the times that Danny shouted out
That's
Kiki
awesome.
during an episode.
I don't like
You know who didn't love it was Kyle.
Kyle did not seem pleased.
The main reason I did it was because of Kyle's disdain for it.
Kyle beat Kiki in a hall brawl.
Damn right. I'll take her out.
Oh no! Oh no!
Wait, can we talk about? I have to be a
poll out there
naysayer.
for the people.
Actually, Kiki would probably kick my ass. But can we? I have to be a naysayer for a minute. All right, I was not so impressed with Casey and Hall Brawl. Okay, I mean she got it done. However, I while I know that Emily is an Olympian and that I understand like she's still bigger than Casey, but like. Maybe I'm giving Casey a little bit too much, but I expect Casey to just take her out. Like this is what Casey does in her real life, right? Like this is what she does. She plays football.
Sure, but I think it's a whole different ball game when you talk about Emily. Like
I know.
Medal winning Olympian. Like, and she's a swimmer. Like her legs are incredibly strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like her whole body is incredibly strong. Like swimming is one of the hardest.
I know.
Hardest things that you can do. Like as a competitive sport like that. So I was expecting a really good matchup between the two of them. So but I will say where I was disappointed in Casey was when we get into the final.
Thank you, Brett.
Well, there you go. Brett says it too.
There you go, Brett. Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say I blame Nani. It's all Nani's fault. What? I said it.
No,
we
just like to make a big deal out of nothing.
Yeah. Now
maybe Nani softened her up.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is surprising because Nani softening anyone like that is certainly not the Nani we know. Although as she's gotten older, I mean, Nani has really. I mean that flame used to burn bright, like she used to just rip somebody's heart out. Now she's just like, well, maybe we can just talk about it. I'm like, what? Nani, where are you, girl? Like, what happened to my friend Nani?
My friend Nani.
What happened?
Wow. All right. But yeah, Casey and Troy win the elimination against Emily and Yes, and our 4 final teams are set. Sarah and Theo, Casey and Troy, Jordan and Kaz, Tori and Danny. Which I got to say, because I have not been a big Tori fan for a while, but I will say this. The 4 teams that came to our final were who? Tori, Jordan, Casey, and Tori's partner Danny, his biggest ally, and Sarah. So it as much as we criticized Tori throughout the season, was her strategy good? I thought she was crazy for the majority of the season, voting her own team in. Kind of like really not working well with her partner. Did they even? I don't know if they even won like a daily challenge this season, but like,
I think so.
But just the fact that we gave Tori. I don't think it was wrong to do so. We gave her a lot of flack throughout the season, but by the time the final comes around, it's Tori and all of her friends competing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
So
that is true. That is true. However,
Mm-hmm.
I was counting on it. However,
yeah, it is a however. Of course,
there is a however.
Yeah, it's a huge however, and it's many howevers. The first one, first one of which being the fact that I do think she benefited from the fact that she had so much conflict with her partner. The partner, the conflict that she had with him was all like socially related. So like even though they weren't getting along, Danny had some protection from people that Tori would not have been protected to, and vice versa. So even though they weren't getting along, it was still a good partnership socially because there was a lot of benefits to it. They were both heavy hitters and strong ones. Like on their sides, they were both not the lowest point of the totem pole in both sides of this game.
Yeah.
So
my thing with Tori, and always, I was historically a Tori fan. I actually, like, if you go back even to when she first was introduced, I really thought great competitor. I felt she evolved as like a person, as a character. It was really cool to see.
yeah,
My
I
problem with
agree.
Tori really started probably like 2 seasons ago, and it's a pretty common complaint, I think. But I don't like when you use a game. Let's put it what it is. The challenge is a game. It's a game
Yeah.
show for money, but
Sure
it
it
is
is.
a game.
Absolutely.
Shout out to my co-host Brian, game show for money. But the fact of the matter is, what she does is she weaponizes her personal relationships in the game. So she threatens personal relationships. If you don't vote like this, we're not friends anymore. She did it to Devin.
Yep.
She did it multiple times to Jordan this season. Like, after everything we've been through and everything we've reconciled, you're really not going to pass me the immunity idol. I know I'm making jokes. It's not really a challenge, but like, that's literally how menial this stuff is, right? But the amount of like fervor and anger, and even the stuff with Danny this season, like, he didn't really ever get super angry. He was really frustrated by her moves, but he never really tried to start a conflict with her. She would try to, while they're sitting at a table, deliberation, try to start with him. And it's I don't know where the switch flipped for her. And then we said it on our podcast, but her winning was like the worst possible thing ever, because now it just validates the behavior, and we are never not going to see Tori. Like, and again, like,
No.
I'm a wrestling fan, so like, she can make a face turn, she can come back, right? Like, she could be a good guy again. But just right now, where I'm standing, my temperature is where you're sitting, Kyle. Right now.
Frosty.
Well, I am so sick of hearing about everything that Tori and Jordan have been through. I don't care. If you keep signing up to play this game every season, get over it.
Right.
This is the
He's
game that you're
not
signing up to play.
And the thing, he's not saying anything about her. It's
No.
always her, like, about him. Like, he's just like, whatever, I'm just here to play games. She's like, oh, and it's like, enough now. Like, enough.
I wonder why one won and one didn't.
Oops.
Right. Well, I will say, Billy, I could not agree more with anything that you said. All the things that you said, I could not agree more. I feel like what you were saying is exactly my experience with Tori. Like, Kyle knows, Gina knows. I was a big Tori fan for a while. I really enjoyed watching her. And it's been in the last couple of years, the last few seasons, that I have just completely turned around on her. And I feel like you said, she weaponizes personal relationships. It's been tough to watch Tori the last few seasons. And like you said, now that she's won, I don't see it getting
Brian. Shout out Brian from our channel commenting.
But
she's never going away.
Never.
yeah.
She is forever woven into the fabric.
But remember, this is what I always say. We always say this on our channel, and we always self-admit to it, whether it's the challenge or the Bachelor, or anything that like we may be sour on at certain times. The real problem is us, because we're going to keep watching every episode, and we're going to cover every episode and live stream and do podcasts.
I'm not missing a single one.
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, we're really the problem. Like, we're the ones watching.
I was sending them screenshots of the final like before 7 a.m. Like, I am dialed in. Like, I still don't want to see her, but I'll watch every minute. Don't let me miss anything. I'll watch even the deleted scenes, but I can't stand her.
Yeah.
Oh,
terrible.
No, she's rough. And even the fact that like I've talked to them about this too, Kyle and Gina, but like, it's even weird to me that like Tori and Anissa have been like the hosts of like the challenge podcast. Like, there's so many conflicts.
Propaganda. This is state controlled media. We're in Russia right now.
Oof.
But wait, it's
right.
going to start fitzing out right now. We're going to get hacked. To send them on road.
I think we're gonna. You want to get into this final now?
Yeah, I want to get into this final.
Let's get into the final.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
Now, as we're getting into it, the final gave us quite a little number that TJ was wearing throughout it.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Let's talk about that. I just have one quick thing here to
Oh no.
kick off this segment of talking TJ's threads.
Give it
Let's
to me.
talk about it.
Talking about TJ's threads. Right, this is talking about TJ's threads. That was not me singing in the video. It was
You
all
are
professionally
so
done.
stupid.
The hell it wasn't. The
Yeah,
hell
it was
it
all
wasn't.
professionally done. I was not going to.
Oh my god.
What do we think of this?
What is this?
Oh,
It's
What
an
is
absolute
this?
not. This is so ill-fitting. You know he had to say, like, what the hell are y'all doing to me? What is this now? I mean, there's nothing about it that fits other than the tie. And I
It
guess
looks like it's
that's
being a
it.
Charles Dickens play.
Like,
Yes.
whose idea was this?
somebody went down to the Salvation Army and said, this jacket will do. Let's grab that hat. Like, let's go. We have a show to film.
I gotta tell you, like the jacket and the vest and everything don't bother me as much. What really gets me
What?
is that damn hat. It's the hat more than anything else
Would
for
you
me.
look at these sleeves? There's so much extra fabric. Like,
So much-
it's so big. It's so big.
Yeah, the peaky fucking blinders.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Oh my god.
Like, no, but wait,
Oh,
are we
man.
really sure that this has been TJ Lav in the last few episodes? Because one, he put on this getup, and last week we didn't address it for the last episode, but he openly let them cheat and rig a challenge and didn't have a single comment to make about it. It's all good.
Oh, with the when Sarah and Theo won.
Yeah, listen.
And afterwards, he was just like, I guess a lot of deals have been getting made.
What happened to the TJ that someone would be like, you know, my mom fell off a skyscraper when I was a kid, so I'm really deathly afraid of heights. And this challenge has me on a 100-foot skyscraper dangling off a beam. TJ, I don't think I really want to do this. I hate quitters. What the hell's wrong with you people? Loser. Your mom would not be proud of you. Now he's like, oh, what a nifty deal you just made. Now it's like, well, tip of the hat to you guys. They're gonna go on a train ride.
Tip of this hat.
Yeah, it just shows that TJ has really lost control of like this whole thing. Like, we keep talking about TJ's final and TJ this and TJ that. Look at him in this ill-fitting outfit, just letting shit go left and right. It's just a mess. It's really not the challenge of yesteryear. I'll tell you that.
Wow. Wow. All right.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, so overall thoughts, because every final is different. What do you guys think of this one? We started off. It was really I guess 3 parts: the loops of hell, then the overnight train ride with shock collars, and then the last day was just a race to the finish. So overall thoughts on this final. What'd you think? Did you like it? Did you hate it?
Oh man.
Thought
I
was
liked
good?
it.
Okay.
You didn't like
It
it?
was very. I thought it was very. Here's the thing. It felt a little underwhelming to me. I did like the straightforwardness of it. It was like, all right, this is what the goal is for day 1. Everyone's on the train. Nobody can sleep. All right, day 2. Here's what we're doing. It felt very straightforward and like simple to follow. But it was like, I don't know. I felt a little underwhelmed for the first World Championship ever.
All right.
I thought.
Oh no, you go, Kyle. You're
No.
sure.
Well, no. Oh no, please. No, I thought the first day was fun. The first day was very, very fun. I thought this whole train thing was very silly. First of all,
I
Welcome
didn't
to the
love
Fear
it.
Express.
no,
I didn't
It did
love
not-
the train.
no, I did not like that the Fear Express, first of all, was not even facing us, right? Like, what is that? You're filming a show. Why am I looking at the Fear Express from the drone
Upside
shot
down.
on the train upside down? Like, we could have done a lot of things differently here, and it just really speaks to how we've just given up on the challenge, right? We just have just given up.
Wait, see, what's crazy is like, so the whole season I've been hating on this season of the challenge, but I'm like the complete
This one-
180. I like the finale. So one, I do like the Fear Express. I felt like I was playing like a Mario Party map. I like a little theme party.
Oh,
great.
Okay.
Sure.
Something that we've always complained about, and I know Brian's still watching, he'll definitely give like an amen to this, is like the one thing we haven't started to like about the challenge the last few years in the production side is that I don't feel like there's a lot of transparency as far as where people stand in the challenges as they're happening, and especially in the final. I like this one because it was straightforward. There are the set amount of stations. These are the number of miles they're doing. Everyone has to do the same thing. You're moving it along. To me, that is at the end of the day, when you've gone through a season of, frankly, a bunch of BS and random rules and stalemates and all that, I kind of like it, just like we talked about Hall Brawl. I do like a kind of straightforward competition being what decides it, and there being less randomness to it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I also really enjoyed seeing the sign for the six smoothie checkpoint that specifically said each player must individually finish their drink, because that was a point of contention in, I think, the challenge 38, right? Ride or Die. So about what was it? Tori was vegan or something, didn't want to drink the drinks, so Devin drank all the drinks, but all the other teams, they all drank their own drinks. Drinks. Saying drink and drank way too much.
Dog drank.
So I like things like that. Like some of the instructions on the checkpoints were much more clear to the audience and things like that.
Sure.
But
what did you think of the costumes on the train?
Oh, the costume change.
Yeah, the costumes. We made our challengers wear these silly things.
Felt like a totally silly thing that was unnecessary and was just for the fun of production. Now, if you had told me that they had to do that bike ride on day 2 wearing those costumes,
that's what I thought.
Right, I'd be so much more on board.
Yeah.
Even if you told me that this portion of the final was sponsored by Winners, I would have been more on board. But the fact that just the fact that this is it's not a sponsored competition. You put them in these silly ass costumes for what reason? And just so that Cass, we get to one great moment where she's just I smell like vomit, but at least I look good. And it's this is just what is this? This 10 minutes is very strange. Really strange.
I think the eating challenges for me, it always would be by far the hardest to do.
Oh, yeah.
You have to just cheat it, like they said. You got to pour it in, throw it up, right? Pour it in, throw it up.
Yeah.
There's no really getting it down.
I hate the eating challenges.
Me too. It's my worst thing by far. I would never
my
try to do one of
favorite.
the shows. If we got to an eating challenge, I'd lose. I would lose.
Yeah.
I don't like the thought of doing it.
Challenge.
No, I don't like the thought of doing it. I don't like watching other people do it. Just no, I hate it. I hate it.
Right
Preach,
as I say that, Brett said this.
Preach.
Finally, someone on my side.
No,
Reality guys are all lined up with you on this too. We got you.
This throws back to old school challenge. This is what we do in this house. Okay, we do eating challenges. Come on,
make these
This is
people
classic.
eat testicles and stuff. And
Right.
Yeah.
It used to be so
Do
much
that
worse.
stuff.
They'd be chewing on bull balls and stuff.
Yeah, Fear Factor type stuff.
And now they're
Like,
just
those
sucking down this
blended
smoothie.
shit.
Honestly, you got it good. Wasn't there was that one final, all they had to do was eat pasta. I'm not saying
a pound of pasta.
right. I'm not saying that was
pasta
easy.
and
I would
bread
definitely
and
throw
ice
up
cream.
too, but we have been through so much worse than pasta. Come on. Bring back the old school eating challenges. Bring back the bull balls.
Yeah, we want the testes back.
Yeah. You should start a Twitter campaign, Kyle.
Yeah, I was just thinking
Bring
that's
back
a great
bull-
hashtag. Bring back bull ball.
There you go. There you go.
Cojones, challenge cojones.
Oh no!
No.
I have actually I have included in streams before puking montages just for Dina. I wanted to do I wanted to include it in this, but I felt like the way this one was filmed, it was also spread out. All the puking was very spread out, so
too much work.
They weren't all puking together at the same time. So.
Who is this for?
The puking montage, it's for you.
It's definitely
Great.
also for me. It's definitely for me.
Um,
Let's bring back Hurl.
It's for both of you for different reasons.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Can we talk about Theo's paper ankle?
Oh,
Not paper ankle.
So
Theo just talks that shit, dude. Always has.
Yeah.
And you step in a crack. Tough break, dude. Always
Yeah.
boo-boo.
I think
you're
he's
just you're so I wasn't There was. I don't care. I'll say it's like I didn't feel bad for him at all. Like I
Oh no.
didn't.
Whoa.
And people hate. I didn't. I've never been a Theo guy. I respected his athleticism until now with his ankle. But it's just like I don't know. It's just never been a fan. I mean, people tell me if I'm crazy, but like I've just not been a big Theo guy. Right. Just
Yeah, you like who you like, you like who you like. I was just more disappointed. I just hate any final where somebody has to leave because of an injury. No matter how serious or minor the injury is, like it just sucks to lose a whole team. You have all these people all season competing to get to this final, and then within the first 2 hours of it, somebody suffers an injury that ultimately ends their final. And now think about even whether you liked him or didn't. Emily and Yes, who literally just left, and they both have 2 good ankles. Like
perfectly good ankles.
Hold on. Let me put you on to something else. Theo's story is still something that I'm very much endeared to. Like when he was originally on the challenge, I did not have strong feelings like for or against, right? But in the off season, he always wanted to get back on the challenge. He had that horrible eye injury, and he had that patch, and he had to really go through all that therapy to rehabilitate his eye. And he thought he would never get to come back to the challenge. And now all of a sudden, his ex-girlfriend wins the Challenge UK, which now makes him relevant again. This is his chance to come back. How are you not rooting for Theo, right? And then you expect him to be like old school Theo, the one that you was like, I don't know if I really like this guy. But no, like him and Kaz, they got on nice. Okay, they got on nice. And it's like, come on. Like Theo had a nice arc. Like I'm not saying that
character arc.
He did. So like, it was a little sad to me to see him go out this way. It's like, that sucks. Like, I'm not saying that he deserves to win for any of this, but like, I certainly don't think he should have just gone out for a rolled ankle. Like
Kyle, some people, you're trying to start a franchise and some would say he's too injury, susceptible. And I'm not going to sign him to the big bucks. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. You're going to draft him for your fantasy team. He's got to finish the season. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I really don't hate Theo. People are watching this. This guy's a jerk. I'm like, I really don't. These people are guys. If everyone's like, who's watching this, like, doesn't watch this show and treat these people like they're characters, like that's how you have to watch it, right? Like, so you're supposed to be able to. Some show people don't take it like that. Trust me.
No, you're not going to get canceled in this house.
And I generally, I do generally like. I do generally like Theo. Like I have no reason to root against Theo. Like I think he's a nice guy. I like him.
He's nice.
But I felt like I was excited to see him come back again because we haven't seen him in a while, and he didn't really give us much on the season. I feel like most of what we got was the clips of him and Kaz sort of revisiting their relationship, and it wasn't until Jordan and Kaz literally threw the competition, and not only threw the competition, but gave them the answer to have them win the last, daily challenge of the season. And that's what, cemented their spot in the final. Like it felt like Theo made this return, and I was hoping for more. And he made it to the final. Great, but
he'll be back. I mean, he'll be back. They're not going to let him go out because of like a rolled ankle. Like you said, Kyle, he's going to be kicking himself because a few days from then he'll be fine. Right. There's probably didn't break anything. Just one of those things. Thoughts and prayers, bud.
It would be, because at the same time, like if you did roll your ankle, like you can't do 16 miles. I mean, like that really is a lot. I mean, it's a lot.
No, he's screwed. I have to say, he literally rolled it on the first lap. Like
he did.
Yeah.
So like
he kept going. He kept going.
He did keep going.
I will say, because I think it was actually even more than 16 miles too, because I'm pretty sure once they actually finished all the checkpoints, they then had to continue running for like another 4 or something to get to wherever they had to end up at the end of the day.
Did they say that what it was after the loop or the second day even? Did they ever mention how long those runs were? Even like the last day, like how that final stretch was? Because I didn't catch that.
I didn't catch like a distance for the final day. I did hear a couple people once they got back on the Fear Express. A couple of people mentioned like, oh, we just ran 20 miles today and now we can't sleep tonight. So like, I think it was like 16 for all the loops. And then they also had to do like additional running to get to wherever the Fear Express was, stationed. What do you got, Kyle?
I'd like to backtrack for a moment.
Okay.
Excuse me. To Theo's exit, I'd like to know what you all thought of Sarah's sentiments here. Sarah was like, well, whatever, it's your decision, like whatever you want to do. I was like, this woman is so high/low key hoping that this man says, I'm done. She was like, get me out of here. She's like, this is too much. And she wanted him to
It's not
quit
like-
so bad.
I didn't think about that till just now, but that's classic.
Well, we have
stranger to Sarah. Like, we've seen
Yeah.
her have that like fire under her. So to see her be like, you know what, whatever happens, it's like, oh God, she hates
because
it.
remember what we read in the off season of Challenge USA that
yes.
basically everybody had quit and that Sarah was going to quit, but production was like, please don't, and that's why they didn't actually show us in the edit Sarah completing all these checkpoints, because she actually didn't, because they rushed her through because they just needed to have a winner to send them off to the world champs. So like, if that is to believe to be true, Sarah's behavior here, I don't know.
I think what you're trying to say is that Sarah actually tripped Theo, and she's the one that busted up his ankle because she knew she wouldn't make the whole thing.
Listen,
Ooh.
I guess
Tinfoil hat. New segment.
What I would say to that is that if that were to come out to be so, I wouldn't be shocked.
I would respect it.
I'm like, well,
could you imagine if Sarah tripped Theo and then was like, oh wow, it's too bad you stepped in that crack, man. Oh, you sure you want to keep going? Like,
are you really sure, bud? We should really get that wrapped up.
Okay, wow, your ankle looks really big.
Please elevate that quick.
Right.
yeah. So Sarah is, depending on what you're willing to believe, Sarah is no stranger to not completing finals. But
that's the only Sarah I know, because I didn't see any of her Survivor seasons. So the only Sarah I know,
they're blocking me.
They're blocking me. Why don't you guys do anything? They're blocking me. Like, this is the only Sarah I know, and I was starting to get hot on her in during this, and it's like I'm right back to where I was with Sarah. Right back.
Yeah.
Although she did have very complimentary things to say about Theo, which was nice. Like, she did have nice things to say as they exited. She would not have wanted to play this game with anyone else. She said he was a great partner. So that's nice, because we didn't really get to see a lot of them working together, at least socially, at least not to my recollection. So it was nice to get a little bit there.
Yeah.
I think she would have played with someone else.
Oop. She probably would have. I think she was just being nice. It's like, this is the proper send off, right?
Yeah, well, because she broke his ankle. She should say something nice.
Ooh. Wow. You're quite the conspiracy theorist. Like, rumors started here. All right. You did hear it here first.
Per rumor.
There were times that I would honestly forget that Sarah and Theo were even partners, because Sarah, like, I always just associated with her with, Danny and Emily. Theo, I associated with Kaz. Like, I feel like we saw so little of them actually together, like actually strategizing or like game planning or talking to people, like having meetings with people as a team. I feel like most of what I remember about them was Sarah and Danny butted heads with Tori and Jordan because they wanted to work with Emily, and Theo talked a lot about his past relationship with Kaz. Like, that's what I remember from those two players. And then I have to remind myself that they were actually partners. Like,
Right.
So, yeah, that whole draft from the qualifier that Brett is talking about here, I barely even remember that now.
I don't even.
How people ended up.
Yeah, I was also convinced that I wasn't going to like this season, so I kind of didn't pay that much attention.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I was pretty checked out the challenge. It wasn't until like episode 4.
Because we just came up with the longest season of TV that's ever been aired, so we were kind of over it from the jump.
For sure.
I was challenged.
Challenged by the challenge.
Yeah, they were challenging me.
It just has become and you know what, I gotta say, like, I'll watch it, of course, but like just seeing commercials recently over the last couple of days while I've been watching like Survivor and the Challenge World Championship finale, seeing commercials for the Challenge USA season 2 has been like I've been like, oh my god, already?
Please give us a break.
That's what the show like. They don't, all these shit. They don't give you a break. They don't give you just like 10 minutes to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I did hear that on the Challenge USA 2, we're getting Tyler
Tyler
Oh,
Crispin.
Tyler
That
Crispin, you know,
Mm.
formerly of Miss Angela,
Dude.
who I cannot believe did not show up in the World Championships. I know she fucked up in the final or whatever that was in the end. That's a whole big mess, you know, but like Angela did not get to be in this, and some of these other people did that didn't even win their seasons. Like,
But I
yeah.
mean, did any of the people who quote unquote quit in that USA final show up? None of them did, right? Or did they?
I guess no, but the thing is, like, Angela didn't know she was quitting.
that whole thing was a fever dream. That finale. I couldn't tell you who actually quit or who actually got kicked off.
Right. I can't. I just remember Angela's situation just because, like, you know, she thought she was being strategic. Like, I'm going to take an L here to take a W later.
Right.
Like, she thought she was doing the right thing. She just like
Mhm.
messed up. And it's like, so I don't know. Like, I do want to see Angela back, but it will be cool to kind of see Tyler in a different environment. Is
Mm.
anybody excited for Tyler? Billy doesn't know Tyler. Do you know Tyler?
No, I know
Oh,
Tyler.
I was gonna say, do you not do Big Brother?
No, Brett, if you want to talk about Big Brother stuff, Brett right now sitting here watching is our resident Big Brother guy. So when we
Gotcha,
do
gotcha.
cover in the
Whoa.
summer, that'll be your
Whoa.
guy.
Tyler
I
dating
did hear
Alyssa.
this. I did hear
Stop.
this.
I'm so disgusted. Wait, oh my gosh, that would make some sense because they're on the challenge. They're supposed to be on the Challenge USA 2 together.
Yeah, so the supposed rumor is that they
Wow,
were
connection.
they were hooking up in the challenge house.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Which, like, but doesn't that check out though? Doesn't that just go
I
along with
guess.
everything you know to be true about
Oh,
both of them?
no. Ah, my goodness gracious. I mean, stock in Tyler, I mean, it's been plummeting for years, but like it's at an all-time low. Sell. Oh, what a mess.
Oh,
What
wow.
a mess.
So Gina actually shared some
Oh,
something that was a little bit controversial apparently on Twitter from the final of the Challenge World Championship. Somebody had taken a screenshot of the Crack the Code board.
Yeah.
Crack
Right?
the code. I
Yeah.
think I saw some of this in the chat here. I didn't
Is
know
this
if it
the
was
number being wrong?
062.
Yeah.
I don't know what people are talking about. Yeah, tell me about this. I saw Gina
Says,
said something.
Yeah. So this is from MTV Exposed. It says, "Attention Challenge fandom.
Attention.
Tori and Jordan were both given the okay to move on after completing this checkpoint in their recent final. Their answer was 042.
Okay.
Please solve this yourself. Shouldn't it be 062? We're letting cheating happen now? Huh? What? I added those last few sounds in.
Oh. I say I don't see that in here.
Oh, okay. So each of those are 5
So,
separate hints.
here's the thing,
and
I
then that
did-
tells you
yes.
the
do it in.
numbers. Oh, thank you. There we go. Look at that. One
Okay.
number's incorrect.
Crack
on
the
right
code.
place.
A
Oh, okay.
numeric lock has a 3-digit key.
So the 2 is the number on the first one. One number's correct but in the wrong place, so it's the 6 for the next one. 2 numbers are correct, but 1 is in the wrong place. But see, that wouldn't the 4-2 be 2 that are correct? See, that's what I'm confused about. Oh, 062. Yeah, so 0 and 2. So it's still
right. And then like
062.
the argument is that in the first one it says one number is correct. So how could the 4 and 2 both be in the sequence if only one of the numbers is correct?
and well placed. So
Right.
well placed
So-
means
right.
correctly, which is the
Right.
2. One
Right.
number's correct, but wrong place, which is the 6. 2 numbers are well, can it be both though? See, that's the thing. I think they made a puzzle
Yeah.
that both can be the answer for.
I'm glad you said that because that is what I've been seeing a lot online is that some people are getting the answer 062. Some people are saying 042 actually is correct because like if you look at clues like the first one, right? It says 482. It says
Yeah.
one number is correct and well placed. It doesn't say that there are no other correct numbers. It just says that one number is
Mhm.
correct
Yeah.
and well
One,
placed.
exactly.
Huh.
You know what I mean? So
It doesn't say only one number is correct. So again, like
Right,
you
which
said,
is that's kind of been the back and forth that I've been seeing is that like
Yeah.
the lack of the word only is kind of
I'm
what's
just
like,
seeing this right now. That's how I would interpret it too. So honestly, I would let them do the 042. But people, you're not wrong that technically 062 is correct. It would have been a bigger controversy if someone answered 062 and they said it was wrong. That
Right,
would have
right.
been the
Sure.
whole thing. Or
And
frankly, if someone said 042 is wrong, you could definitely have a case to say that. Thankfully, that's not what happened because
right.
we definitely have something crazy to talk about if that had actually really
Yeah.
affected it.
Right. It ended up really not having an effect because I did watch and I made sure at this point Sarah and Theo were out, so they didn't try to solve this one. Tori and Danny and Jordan and Kaz both got 042. The last team to get to this checkpoint was Casey and Troy, and they did also end up answering 042. So this tweet makes a big deal about like Tori, production letting Tori and Jordan cheat.
Yeah.
But all three teams that answered
No order changed. The
anyway.
orders were exactly the same, and no one got held up. So I think that's just people wanting to be mad.
Mm.
I was also going to add here, isn't it also possible that like in something like this, they would also make it that there could be more than one answer? Because like, let's be honest, like you see some of these trivia questions that they get and like, they're very easy and they get them wrong. Like maybe they're good physical competitors, but like we're really not dealing with the brightest bulbs in any chandelier. So I don't know. So maybe you would want to have like something where like, because like let's see what happened to the last final where everyone got that Sudoku and they all just quit.
Right.
Oh, too much. And they got out of here. This is what people like old ladies buy this at the pharmacy and they buy a Sudoku book and they just sit down and they just do it. And these people all quit over it. So,
Right. And I've seen
quitters.
Twitter. I've seen Twitter pretty split. Some are saying 062, some are saying 042, some are saying both answers are acceptable. So.
Yeah, I think it's possible that maybe there was just more than one answer to make sure that people got through this.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say that Crack the Code came from the Loops of Hell portion of the final. And the reason I'm saying that is because I remembered that I had another thing here that I want to show you guys just because it made me laugh. And no, it's literally, it's TJ just announcing that it's Loops of Hell and then giving like just a ridiculous explanation for what it was.
This is Loops of Hell. You're going to be running loops, and it's going to be hell.
Thank you so much, TJ. I understand perfectly now.
And we're going to be running loops at our hell, really? Wow. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, TJ.
No flame motifs, nothing. Like, can you give me any kind of theming here, TJ? You are wearing a conductor's uniform. Like,
yeah,
ill-fitting.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean. It's these little things that just like we just give up. Like, here's everyone. All right, they're gonna just
give it up.
Do the challenge. Right. Just exactly. Very lazy. It's very lazy.
Thanks, Brian.
Yo, guys, this is the craziest final of all time. You're gonna be doing loops of hell. You're gonna be running loops, and it's gonna feel like hell. Okay, all right.
Excellent.
Wow,
great.
Very
Wonderful.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're just like, we're kind of flabbergasted, actually. Like, the lack of writing
Yeah.
is evident there.
So,
so that's that. So Jordan and Kaz win.
Yeah, Jordan and Kaz win. We finally got to we got through Loops of Hell. We got through the overnight shock collar train ride.
Yeah, the IV. Fancy dinner party.
What was all that? That was so like dramatic, wasn't it? Who's gonna get the IV? I'm like, what? What is this?
So stupid.
Casey got the IV, and then she still shut down again anyway the next day. A big waste of IV.
She was the only legend that got an IV too. The other pairs that got it, it was Kaz and Danny, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So Casey, the only legend that needed to take the IV. I don't know.
Listen, shout out to Kaz, 2 for 2 in these challenges, right? As a champion, had to take a lot of shit from Jordan. Jordan's a very impatient, a great partner to have as far as just a challenge partner. And obviously these relationships got him really far. And shout out to Jordan again. Like, he has always been a really good physical competitor, but he frankly used his relationships to his advantage this year. He was the alpha of that relationships because at the end of the day, he didn't have to do as many eliminations. He really got what he wanted for the most part. And at the end, he had himself set up with a partner who was really a physically dominant female, but you just couldn't tell half the time because most of the scenes we got to see was him yelling at her. So
Mhm.
I think Kaz is like a staple. I really like Kaz. I'd like to see
Yeah.
her without.
She's
Jordan.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
I
it a
totally agree.
lot.
I think they were great partners for each other. Really, I do think so.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about Kaz for a minute. So there was that moment where like Jordan kind of had made some decisions for them socially, as far as like who was going to go into elimination and everything, and I really, really liked how Kaz like appealed to Jordan in that moment and sat down and said, when you performed this action, you made me feel this, and this was the first thing because what I really thought was like, wow. Jordan had a great reaction to this, but I don't know that it's really because of Jordan's growth. I think it's because of how Kaz approached him.
Mm.
I
Because
agree.
usually every time Jordan missteps, and somebody comes at him, it's always hot, it's very aggressive, and he does not respond well to that. She flat out said, I didn't feel good about this. And I think it just hit him different.
That was last week, I think.
Yeah.
And
That it made me just fall in love with Kaz. Not that not that I was teetering. I had already liked her, but this like really
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
put me
Can
over.
I
Yeah.
can I piggyback off that because
Oh,
I
absolutely.
totally
Let's give Kaz
100%
the flowers. Yeah.
I 100% agree with you on that conversation. That was something that
Yeah.
stood out to me.
It's
But
awesome.
another thing that stood out to me with them was even, and we just saw Jordan in a final with Anissa, so we have two very recent finals to compare this to.
Mhm.
What was the difference, right? Jordan was still kind of doing that whole getting loud, uh, you know, yelling at his partner, and Anissa would kind of respond the same way by kind of yelling at him and like they would just their whole partnership in that final I remember, and of course Anissa's dealing with an injury, but their whole relationship in that final was just them yelling at each other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There were
It's sad.
moments I think of even like that slide puzzle where they kind of got held up a little bit. It took a little longer than Jordan wanted to. He was getting frustrated, and when he started to freak out on her, like, you're not letting me finish a move, instead of like yelling at him like Anissa might have on Ride or Dies, she was like, Jordan, breathe, 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 we'll figure this out. Like,
The
I just
problem with oh,
yeah,
sorry.
no, that's okay. I just felt like the difference in the reaction there was pretty clear, and like, look what happened in this final compared to last final that Jordan was in. Like, they did not win, and here in this one, Jordan and Kaz end up winning, and I feel like it was part of that dynamic, that whole relationship between them, and how Kaz approached being yelled at by Jordan.
I think you're right, man. Like, it definitely helps, but I think the big difference is like Kaz versus Anissa. It's just like, come on now.
100%.
It's the
Yeah.
athleticism. It's the just fact that she can do it. I think, and I've said this in seasons past with Anissa, it's like Anissa is almost looking for someone like Jordan to get mad at her, because then we were talking about like Sarah looking for a reason to get out of that final. Anissa is just like waiting for Jordan last season to blow up on him. So that's part of the like, you know what, like, could have done better if you supported me. It's like, no, you weren't gonna ride that bike 5 more
Right.
miles, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not. I like Anissa. Like, I think Anissa like is a good competitor and obviously been around forever. But Kaz is a beast. She like trains MMA.
Yeah.
She like is again now 2 for 2 in challenges. It's not anything to laugh at, right? There's some people
No.
have been doing this literally their entire lives and they still haven't won.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I totally agree with you at this point, especially. Kaz
Absolutely.
is definitely a much bigger physical threat right now than Anissa, especially on a bum ankle. But like, well, she was on a bum ankle,
It's the bum. Come on.
so. But Anissa at this stage in her career, along with a bum ankle, I completely agree with that, is going to blow her out of the water.
Yeah.
But I do think that their relationship in general, like, I don't think it's out of the question they could have been passed by like a Danny and a Tori had they not worked as well together. Maybe not a Casey and a Troy because of how much Casey was struggling, but like, I could see them ending up in second if Kaz and Jordan aren't communicating well. So, Kaz definitely is going to still bring Jordan further, I think, than Anissa would at this point. But I do think that like the dynamics of their relationship really played a role in like helping to really secure the win, as well as they did. Because they really did work well together.
Great. I like this comment from Amaya. It says Kaz also said that Jordan taught her to believe in herself. She said he basically lives by this saying, if you believe you are the best, then you will be. Kaz is just a great partner to have. I think that's nice.
It's nice.
Yeah, I like hearing like postseason positives,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, if we're done with Kaz, I do have somebody else who deserves a couple of roses,
Oh yeah.
Sure.
and that's Troy. That's
Oh,
Troy.
of course.
Right, Troy.
Yeah. Troy deserves some flowers. Okay. Won his Australian season. Did you watch the Challenge Australia?
I did not see the Challenge Australia.
I gotta say, that was a good time.
Okay.
Mm.
That was a good time. That's on Paramount Plus. John and I also watched the Challenge UK. That one's it's kind of a
We
skip
watched it in
beast.
one day.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's only 5 episodes. It's kind of a
Oh,
skip
okay.
beast.
That's quick binge.
It's a quick binge, but it's not totally worth it. If you just want to watch it for challenge lore, fine.
Yeah. But Kaz,
Right.
if you're feeling good about Kaz right now, and like you want to watch more of her,
Right. You want to see how she got there,
super season.
fine. But the Challenge Australia was actually a good ride. It was a good ride.
Mhm.
And so obviously, so Troy won that season, and but this one, just seeing how good he was as a partner, Challenge beast, obviously, and my gosh, came out of every elimination, obviously completely successful. And then even when Casey was down and out, he says, "Just get on my back, and I'm going to carry you."
That was awesome.
Yeah, Troy is
I
an
love Troy. I
absolute
love Troy.
force. Yeah, and I really hope we get to see him again too. I really do. Yeah.
And that was a part too where I was like, man, Troy is literally carrying Casey on his back right now. Like what? And I thought that was awesome.
Back.
You know,
Troy's
that was
awesome.
awesome for Troy. But I also felt like, man, is Casey really struggling this much in this final?
Yikes! Yeah,
a little bit. And I love Casey, but and I think was it Amaya that said, Troy and Casey, because we had talked about this too, and they were partnered up.
Mhm.
By virtue of that, that's whole thing too. Like we could have a very different final. Technically, Troy and Casey are supposed to be out of here. They end up together instead. And it felt a little weird with the way the rest of the pairs were made to me. Like it just felt a little awkward, but it happened. Nobody complained about it. And you know what? They ended up having to pay their dues because the moment they were paired together, they went into every elimination after that and they won.
Mhm.
So good on them. But yeah. And there is a part of me that wonders if that hall brawl that Casey had with Emily, where she had to go 2 rounds with a gold medal winning Olympic athlete and then get immediately on a train to go to the final.
Right.
Would that have played a role in her performance?
Too, it wasn't even like it was the next day. They literally went from elimination to the final, right from the jump.
Yeah. And then what? In between that, got what? A half hour sleep?
Yeah.
Is that what she got?
So, I don't remember
That's
what she
No
had.
way they actually slept if you had the 30 or 15 minutes.
No,
It's just not enough
you
time.
Yeah.
To try
Yeah,
to
you
settle
didn't
down.
do anything.
So
maybe the 30-minute people got 10.
Maybe.
If somebody told me,
nothing. They got nothing.
I was gonna say, if somebody told me, I wouldn't. If I was one of the people that only got 15 minutes, I wouldn't even try to fall asleep. Because what if I fall asleep for 2 minutes?
You feel worse.
crap.
Yeah.
I think you just gotta hydrate. I'd spend all the time, even that hour, just hydrating. I feel like that sleep versus the hydration is not getting your investment. You need to really sleep to actually get energized again. You gotta. They all cramped up, right? That was the whole IV thing. So it's I would just keep drinking the water. That's what at least. There's no way you're gonna sleep in that train car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got cameras in the room. The final's about to start. You're too amped up to even
I don't
sleep.
even think I could say. Just be crying the entire time.
You're puking the whole day before.
Seriously. My God.
But so okay, after the whole train thing, let's wrap this up and then give our final thoughts on the season and anything like that. Our MVP picks, all that, right? Because we're basically there, right? We finished with the stage. We went to the next day, the second day, and it was basically just called Race to the Finish. They had to run to some bikes. They had to bike a trail. When the trail was over, they had to run to the finish. But they also did have to finish a quick little slide puzzle in the middle of that and use their keys that they had on them. But yeah, end of the day, Jordan and Kaz win. First place,
Boring. Yeah.
$500,000. We had Tori and Jordan come in second.
That's worth $0.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
did
Like
notice-
nothing for second anymore, just nothing. Like thanks
I
for
was gonna
coming.
say, I also noticed that they did not mention they just gave no airtime to it at all. Like we're not even going to let the winners say like, oh, we're giving the runners up 10 grand each. You know,
No.
like
I noticed that
they
too,
stopped
because
that,
that's that's been a point of contention for us all season too, is that, and we've seen people say it on Twitter, we've said it a bunch of times, like it almost feels like that is now bribing people to not put you into elimination for the next coming season.
Yep.
And we saw it happen how many times with Tori being like, well, I'm not putting Casey in. Of course you're not putting Casey in. She gave you how much money? People weren't putting in Tori. It happens all the time.
Right.
Facts.
for sure.
True.
So yeah, we have our first Challenge World Champions. Do you guys have any other final thoughts on the season as a whole? I have one.
What's that?
And it's about the hosts. I thought we'd see more of the other international hosts.
I forgot about them.
Yeah, are you disappointed?
Honestly, so did
No, I'm not.
I.
We got them all in the premiere. Bryony came in. They hosted the one competition where TJ was off being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that. They weren't even there for the finale. That's so weird.
They're cameos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot all about them.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. That's too bad.
Maybe they would have cared about people making deals.
Yeah. Right.
That's so weird. Why would they not have been at the finale?
Why weren't they at the finish line?
Maybe they
Like an
would
amazing
have-
race.
Like that's so bizarre.
Right. That's so strange. I forgot all about them.
So like at the very least, put like the UK host there because Kaz won. Like, what is that?
Yeah, that's weird.
That's
too
so
bad.
strange.
Just something I noticed. I was like, I like the final ended, the credits were rolling, and I was like, huh. We never saw any of those other hosts ever again.
Ever again.
Never
Yeah,
again.
that's so weird.
They got laid off immediately.
Do you think we're gonna get another one of these?
Yeah, because
World
they used the words first. Like, I'm pretty sure they're going to do this again. If USA got another season, this thing's going to get another season. This one at least had
thing
like
is,
the
like-
face recognition. You know what I mean?
Like,
You know what?
USA is getting
though?
another season, and USA did well, but I feel like the other ones just did not do well in their countries. Like
No.
they were trying
Australia
to
did
rush
terrible.
Australia off the air as soon as they could. Like,
You know
Yeah.
how they should run this?
Australia got really disgraced.
Yeah. You know how they should run this though? They should do it. It's a world championship, right? Reminds me of something like the World Cup or something.
Yeah.
Like soccer. Do it every 4 years. That way you can still have Challenge USA seasons. You can do Challenge UK or Australia where you think the show did well. Maybe there's a couple of countries that you think of that like, oh, let's try a season here, and you just build the pool of international competitors, and then have a Challenge World Championship like every 4 years. You know,
Australia got canceled.
Yeah, they kind of like canceled it like mid-season. They kind of moved it onto this like other.
Yeah, the whole
Yeah, it's like a weird situation over there.
they all of a sudden
think
there
that
were
was
like
the-
2 episodes a week instead of 1
Yeah,
or whatever it
yeah.
was. Like,
they started airing 1 episode a week, and then like not even halfway through the season, they were just like, all right, we're just gonna air 2 episodes a week now.
crank it out, get it done as soon as
Quicker.
possible.
Last summer they did that. CBS did that with the Real Love Boat. They did this kind of like love
Yes.
boat, and it was on CBS for the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then they pulled it over to Paramount. It's funny enough, when it got to Paramount, it actually started getting pretty popular. We saw the viewership go up and everything. We're like, oh, but it was on CBS. No one watched.
Yeah, that's basically what happened to the Challenge Australia, except that it just went down.
Downtown.
Yeah, there are apparently like major cities in Australia that had 0 viewers for the finale, like live, like 0.
Mhm.
0
You can like the headline said like 0.
flatline.
Yeah, nothing.
Oof.
Are we doing favorite legends now, or not favorite? Not favorite
MVP non-legends. That was the homework assignment I was given.
Yeah.
I had to think
So-
about this.
I was thinking, because the legends, whatever, we know them, we've watched them over and over again over the years.
They're annoying.
But yeah, they're all annoying,
Yes.
But we got a bunch of newbies that were mixed with these legends, and they were all referred to as global MVPs throughout the season. So I figured, why don't we decide who our MVPs are? And I want to limit it to only the people that competed on the international versions of the seasons.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if we had some repeats here, but I'll go last. Who wants to give their MVP first?
With someone who competed on USA count.
Yeah. Anybody from USA, Australia, UK, or Argentina?
Yeah, that's not a legend.
Yeah.
Would you accept Danny as an answer?
Absolutely.
I've chose Danny because he had to deal with Tori all season.
Literally, that was exactly what I said to you.
And that's it.
Because he had to deal with Tori all
season, man.
It's that too, but it's also the fact that like he did not back down to her for 1 second. There was no point where he was like, whatever, I'll just like let her do what she's gonna do. No, he gave it back to her every single time.
So that's me, 100%.
Okay.
All right. So 2 Dannys.
Yeah, Gina, you're also Danny officially.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, love it, Gina.
Okay.
Wow.
Love it.
Wow.
What do you got?
I have to say, I have to go with my girl Kiki, and I'm really happy to see that Liz is shouting her out too. The Kiki shout out,
Yeah.
but
Shout
in
out
a
of all
good way.
people.
In a good way. I love Kiki. I
Mhm.
just I think she's a great competitor. I just think she has a good attitude about the game. Like she sees it as a game, and she plays it that way. Yeah, I just really like her. Yeah. Love Kiki. She can do great things. And let's not forget, she did win her season. You know, she won her season. She did not come in here as a loser like Emily did.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Sheesh.
Sorry. Them's the facts. If you pull her up on the Wikipedia, that is what it will say. Loser.
You're not wrong.
You know, sorry. Black on white.
Did you just go and edit it?
I don't have to. No editing necessary. It's a fact.
Okay. All right.
Facts.
Yeah.
So
Facts.
we have 2 Dannys and a Kiki so far, right?
Kiki.
Okay.
Love Key.
I went back and forth on my pick for
boy.
quite a while.
Okay.
I really wrestled with this because there were so many reasons. There were so many reasons that I wanted to pick Kaz. Because I feel like Kaz is now, she's played 2 seasons of the challenge and she is a 2-time winner, right? 2 seasons, 2 wins. You know, she worked well with, with Jordan, which I thought was great. But ultimately, I couldn't give it to Kaz, even for all those reasons, even though I wanted to.
She's all that hype for nothing. Sorry, girl.
Well, I had to give her the hype because she
Right.
is a champ, a 2-time champ, and I do love her.
An honorable mention.
I got to tell you, I ended up having to give it to Troy.
Mm.
Troy.
Great answer.
Good.
Troy was a strong second for me. Yeah.
Well deserved.
Same. Troy's
Yeah.
great.
Absolutely.
Troy is my official pick for my season MVP because I'll tell you why. He won Challenge Australia, great. So he comes in a champ, but he comes in and he has one partner, and he's got people from his own country, you know, working against him in Grant and Emily. So he's kind of working with Kiki. I love that. He gets thrown a whole curveball. His partner has to leave because she's pregnant, and now he gets put on a new team with somebody else. And they go in and they have to face elimination after elimination after elimination. They win every single one. And then he goes to the final and he didn't win. They came in 3rd place. But our MVP, our new person to the show, right? We made such a big deal about these legends on this show. What happened? Troy had to carry his legend on his back to get up the hill.
Legendary.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
right there. Does he become a legend right there? But so, you know, that for all those reasons, he was a champion on his international season. He came in, he had to get switch up partners and then go through so many eliminations, carried Casey on his back. Troy is my MVP.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. You know, Troy arrived at us in the very, very beginning as a legend, right? Because he came to us as a winner of Australian Ninja Warrior, right?
Yeah.
Twice.
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 Up. I mean, come on now. Troy, listen. I don't know.
Beast.
Troy better come back. Yeah.
All those
Mhm.
eliminations.
Yes,
everything.
absolutely.
He'll be back.
Absolutely.
I doubt that.
He
I
has
mean, as
to
long
be
as he
back.
wants to come back, but why
I
wouldn't
think
he?
he will. Oh, let's start a social media campaign. We have a lot of people to talk to when we get off. Because we also have to bring back bull balls. That's what it was.
Yeah, Bill Walsh.
Right. I have a lot of campaigns to start. I gotta open up my notes app.
Mhm.
All right, Gina, I hope you're taking notes on when to clip.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Kyle just yelled bull balls. You know, like I'm crazy.
I got you.
Wow.
You know. All right. So listen, I know it's Thursday, but there's something that I forgot to do on Monday.
Oh my God.
I know it's been burning Gina up all week. So I'm sorry, everybody. Just bear with me. I know it's Thursday, but you know what? When you're, when you're on the Strat Chat podcast, it's always Smon Wan Monday.
Mon.
Yeah, I just had to make sure I got that in there once for Gina.
Great.
What the hell is Mom Monday?
Anybody else have anything for the Challenge World
No.
Championship finale?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think I've said everything I wanted to say.
I thought it was a good season overall, though. I did have a good time.
Yeah.
I liked it more than I expected to.
Yeah, agreed.
Finale was big for me in like my overall like feeling for the season. So I thought they really Brett, I know what Monwan is. I know what Big Brother is. I'm getting told by my own co-hosts on the chats. You know?
Who doesn't know Monwan?
Listen, I might not be the biggest Big Brother like Stan, but I still know my stuff conversationally. But I have promised that like I haven't really always given it a fair shot. You know, I have guys on the show now who are big fans. Like you guys are obviously big fans, so I'm going to give it its fair shake. You know, I'll pop in with you guys.
I'll accept that.
Right, because you guys are going to do 25, right?
We are going to do 25. Yeah, so it's we made that promise that we're going to get reality guys. We'll cover. It'll be the first time we're covering a full season of.
Awesome.
So we'll figure out how we're going to do it and how the scheduling will work and stuff, but we'll make it happen. So
that's awesome. Very cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're going to hang back. We're going to hang back. We have a fun summer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It'll be great.
But all right, what else do we have coming up on Strat Chat? We won't be here on Monday. Normally we would be here on Monday. We won't be here this coming Monday. But we will be back next Thursday. What is that? May 25th?
Yeah.
It'll be well, we have to look at that, right? What's the because that's the we'll be talking about the Survivor finale.
Survivor finale
next
week.
So we'll be here talking at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the finale of Survivor 44. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I'm excited too. Is it
And
going to be a 3-hour finale though?
They always do.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
But at least we're not. At least this time we're not watching it and then coming on right after. Right? It's like
right.
Yeah.
Watch it for that night. Come on the next night, and come refreshed.
It's true.
Yeah, it's a lot of Survivor for one clump.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
But all right, and that's what we have coming up. And other than that, we'll have to. We might be taking a little hiatus. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We don't know yet. We're still thinking about things. But all right. Have a great night, everybody. If you want to find us on the socials, you can do so at Strat Chat Pod on all the socials. Check out our website, www.stratchatpod.com. And we'll be coming at you soon with more of your favorite reality TV podcasts. All right.
Yeah, and thanks to Billy, the reality guys. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them everywhere.
God, yeah.
Reality guys.
Yeah. We cover everything and anything reality TV. We got a lot going on. We've been covering all the Vanderpump Rules stuff. That's been the big topic of reality TV.
Wow.
So we've been all over that. Still covering all the challenge type stuff. Survivor, The Bachelorette comes back in June, and Claim to Fame season 2 comes back in June as well. So we'll be covering a lot of that stuff. And you guys, obviously, always open invite. Anything you want to come cover on our channel, come hop on over. But yeah, you can find reality guys on YouTube.
Very cool. Very, very nice. Thank you so much, Billy. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I had a blast.
Yeah, that was great. And thank you, everybody, for watching, for listening. We will be back with you soon. Have a great night.